Hey, what is going on, everyone? I hope all of you guys are doing well. So, this is going to be a collection update. Now, unfortunately, the last title I was waiting to come into the mail, there are issues with the USPS Postal Service because I had ordered a documentary on Blu ray back on the 22nd of March, and no update was going on with the tracking. And then when I went to go check today, it found its way in New Jersey. And mind you, it was shipped in a town in Georgia. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. I did contact the seller, which is Declutter, and they told me that if I don't get the item by the 11th of this month, they gave them to contact them. Um, it seems like I always tend to have issues, especially when it comes to ordering from a seller who, in where I'm at and where they're at, it might be like 3 to 4 hours, not too not too long when it comes to the traveling distance. So usually a lot of times I tend to get my stuff early than expected, but I don't know what it is. It just seems like when I order from Declutter a lot, the stuff just takes its time and sits, and then there's no update on the tracking. So I guess I can't complain too much, but I didn't want to sit and wait to do a collection update on that title because at this point I don't know when it's coming in. It's kind of similar to the same issue I had with with Exit to Eden. As you guys know, I was having issues with the shipping on that, so yeah, it's kind of weird, but nonetheless, I've got my cup of coffee, which is, to be honest with you guys, is my third cup. I had to get up early to take my mother and my sister to the airport. They are going on a cruise. I guess in some way, it's a birthday present to my sister because her birthday is today. So they're going there, and they won't be back until the 12th, I think, of uh, this month. So I know they're going to have a good time. So had to do that, had to get up real early, so I'm pretty much tired at this point. But yeah, I did manage to pick up a pretty decent amount of stuff, a mixture of eBay funds and a mixture of the Zip app, and then a little bit of my tax refund. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the DVDs. Since I do have a lot of Blu-rays, it's probably best that we go with the DVDs. So my anime collection is not the biggest. I'm starting to slowly get more anime into my collection, and then eventually, once I get the animes that I want to eventually move on to wrestling. I think for wrestling, I'm going to start off with a lot of the ECW releases. Start with like some of the Blu-ray releases, and then move on to the NXT stuff because ECW is one of my favorite. Was one of my favorite companies, and NXT is actually one of my favorite brands. So I want to start off with those once I get the animes that I want to get. But Walmart has they're starting to slowly get into the anime, and they have a nice little small section of anime, and they have, of course, Dragon Ball Z. They've got the Blu-rays, but they also have some DVDs, and I ended up finding the Dragon Ball Z movie collections that they had. um, for anybody who has not watched Dragon Ball Z, during its run, we would get movies released here and there. And, I think it worked out really well because from what I can remember, the movies would come out during the period of, what I call the waiting period. Because for anybody who grew up in the 90s knows that it took another run to get to the new season. So a great example is the Frieza saga. So as we all know, it would take a week for Goku to turn Super Saiyan, but once the Frieza saga ended, they didn't. I don't think they had the rights to the Cell saga yet. So after the Frieza saga was over, they would go back to the very first episode of Dragon Ball Z and run its course until the Cell saga would premiere. So it was one of those ongoing things that were just absolutely annoying. But I do believe during the time where they had to go back so they could start working on the newer episodes, which of course were the episodes we weren't getting, like the Frieza saga, that eventually go on the Boo. I believe there was movies during that time that would, come out periodically. And especially, I remember a couple coming out, kind of in between the gap of, waiting for the new season and them restarting over. So there are 3 volumes for the Dragon Ball Z movies. First, we have Collection 1, which includes Dead Zone, The World's Strongest, Tree of Might, Lord Slug, and Cooler's Revenge. So these are stories that didn't really tie in to the TV series. I don't even think there's any like mentions or not mentions. I don't think there's any mention of any of these movies within the series itself. So I think they might just be their own little thing, and they're not necessarily canon. But yeah, Volume 1's pretty cool, and you do get them in individual cases. So you got The World's Strongest, and then Dead Zone. Sorry for the shaky cam. And then we have Lord Slug and Tree of Might. And then lastly we have Cooler's Revenge, which is Frieza's brother. So yeah, really cool set. These are $12.96 at Walmart. So if you come across them and you want to add them to your collection, I think they're worth picking up. And then we have collection number 2. I'm not going to show you guys a closer look at the rest of them. I wanted to at least do the first volume so you kind of got an idea of what it's like. But collection 2 includes I cannot speak. The Return of Cooler, Super Android 13, which is my favorite, because this gives us the introductions to Android 13, 14, and 15. Then we get Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan, and BoJack Unbound, which I started liking some of these later films that they were coming out with, and Super Android 13 became one of my personal favorites. And then we have collection number 3. And collection number 3 includes Broly's Second Coming, Bio Broly, which is, I think, the third and final film in the Broly trilogy. And then you get Fusion Reborn and Wrath of the Dragon. So not bad for $12.96. You got 2 of them that are a 4-film pack, and then another one that's a 5-film pack. So I think that's a really cool. I think they're really cool releases to have. And eventually I will get the TV series on Blu-ray down the road. So the next one here is Goosebumps The Haunted Mask 2, which is one of my personal favorites. Love the first movie. I believe the first movie is not available on DVD. I think the only way you can get it is VHS. But I would like to pick up the other releases of this because they have DVD releases that are, kind of similar to the book covers, like this one. And then they have the double feature ones, and then you got like the collections, which have like 3 movies. One, maybe another one has 4 movies. But I think those will end up. And don't quote me on this, but I think majority of those DVD releases kind of complete the entire series. For some odd reason here in the States, we do not have a full complete series, at least to my knowledge. I think right now we just have these compilation releases or individual releases. Now, some of the DVDs that are similar to this, where they have like the old school like book cover, I think some of those have like 2 movies or 3 movies as well that kind of fit the theme of that release. So I would like to get those. Goosebump was one of my favorite shows. Not as good as, say, Are You Afraid of the Dark? But for what it was, I really enjoyed it. I used to read the books. To be honest, that's probably one of my favorite book series, along with the Animorphs. So I think there was only like 64 books in the series, so it's not a very long series at all. So yeah, very happy to pick that up, and like I said, eventually I do plan to pick up more. The next one I picked up is The Shrimp on the Barbie. This is a very underrated, lost, forgotten Cheech Marin film. I mean, we all know Cheech Marin from Cheech and Chong movies. But yeah, he did some other things that weren't Cheech and Chong related, like Born in East LA, I think, and then of course Shrimp on the Barbie. I rewatched this recently. The last time I saw this, I want to say I may have found it on YouTube for free, or something like that. Maybe before that, it was when I was a kid, but it's just a fun, kind of out there type of comedy. But the cast, I think, is great, and I've always enjoyed this one. This one is a out of print title, but it's kind of one of the more affordable ones. I think you can get this for like $20, which I was able to get it brand new. So yeah, very happy with finding that. There is a Spanish release, and then there is an Australian release. So if you go on eBay, just be careful, because I noticed there was a lot of sellers who had some of the foreign releases rather than the US release. When I saw that there was a US release, I went ahead and snagged it right away. So that, oh no, I almost forgot. So next is compilation releases that finish an entire series of an anime that I absolutely love. So I ended up picking up all 7 volumes of the Guyver, um, the bio-suited armor. It's a fun, like, alien type of series. You have this human who ends up coming across this device known as the Guyver. It's basically it's a suit. It's an armored suit, and intentions was to be basically armor for soldiers for this ongoing war, where these creatures, they kind of take human form, or in some way the humans become the creatures. So it's very unique in its own way. And there's this corporation, that is kind of wanting to take over. And then you have, of course, this individual who becomes the Guyver. Now, there was a early '90s film starring Mark Hamill, and then we would end up getting a sequel, The Guyver Dark Hero, which both are available on DVD. The first movie is available on Blu-ray through Arrow Video, and then it's getting a re-release on Blu-ray, as well as for the first time, a 4K release. So yeah, so I picked up Volume 1, Days of Future Past, and I have done unboxings for these. We have Volume 2, uh, Procreation of the Wicked. And I decided to go with this because the complete series DVD and the complete series Blu-ray sets are going for about $100. The Guyver anime is out of print, and it hasn't gotten a reprint since, at least from what I know, from what I from the research I've done. We have Volume 3, The Lost Number Commandos. Next is Volume 4, Innocence and Wrath. And each volume has about, I think, 4 episodes, give or take. Volume 5, The Secrets of Relics Point. And I'm excited to start watching this. This is a pretty great series. Volume 6, Pandemonium's Ransom. I've always been a fan of this. At one point, I had the Blu-ray, and for some odd reason, I ended up getting rid of a lot. I think at that point I needed to because I was in a financial hardship, but not realizing that a lot of the stuff I used to have at one point went out of print and is worth more. And then we have Guyver Armor of the Gods, which is Volume 7. So, yeah, so not bad there. Some a pretty great anime. I will definitely be continuing on for sure with more anime titles down the road. Excuse me. But for now, not too bad. They're very, very happy. Sounds like my garbage man finally shut up. All right. Gotta love coffee. Yep. My garbage man. All right. I don't even know where to start at this point. I really don't. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So I picked up a Vestron video release. I'm kind of starting out with like more of the multi-film sets that they came out with, like their original run, or not original run, but like the first wave that they did, like the two Waxwork films. And I had picked up Wishmaster, I think at the beginning of this year, or it was sometime last year. I don't know. At this point, I've lost track. But I did end up picking up the Warlock collection. I've seen the first film. I don't think I've seen the second and third. Unfortunately, the actor, what is his name? Julian Sands, unfortunately passed away. I think a lot of the work he has done is really good, and the Warlock films are definitely those films that kind of put him on the map. They're pretty cheesy, but I've always enjoyed them. At least the first movie, I've always enjoyed. I've heard mixed feelings about them. Well, maybe I don't know. I'd have to relook. There's a possibility I have seen all three, but I mean, a lot of movies I haven't seen since I was a kid, so I can't remember a whole lot. So there is that possibility. The next one I picked up is the A24 film, The Iron Claw. This was a must-have for me. I am a big wrestling fan. I'm sure some of you guys know this by now. But this was one I wanted to see in theaters. Didn't get the opportunity to, but I definitely wanted to snag it once I knew it was going to be released on Blu-ray. Have yet to watch it, but I do plan really soon. Such a good movie, from what I've heard, and it's very, very sad. So, as we know, Walmart has the steelbook craze going on, but what a lot of us are finding out is that Walmart has $5 4K titles in their $5 bin, of course, steelbook releases. And I have picked up quite a few. I almost picked up two other ones today, but I decided to change my mind. Unfortunately, my Walmart did not have the John Wick 3 Steelbook, which I really wanted, and they did not have the, what is it, Total Recall 4K Steelbook. Maybe I'll, make a comment on make a post in one of the Facebook groups I'm part of to see if somebody there will, pick them up for me, and then I'll pay them. They do apparently some locations have Terminator 2 Judgment Day on 4K, but for anybody who has bought that movie on Blu-ray and 4K will know that that transfer is garbage. But the titles I did manage to pick up, I'm very happy with. I picked up Requiem for a Dream, which was a must-have for me. I actually passed on that when it first came out. I was not going to pay so much for it. Then I picked up Universal Soldier, one of my favorites. I don't know why I said it like that. Picked up Hitman's Wife Bodyguard, which is pretty cool because when you take off the slip, the bullet hole is embossed, which is pretty cool. And then I found Apocalypse Now, the final cut. This was a really cool find. Then I picked up the first one, The Hitman's Bodyguard, which is a really good film. Then I picked up the Taron Egerton version of Robin Hood, which I've been waiting to find a good deal on 4K, at least what I want to pay. Then I picked up Three from Hell on 4K, trying to boost up my Rob Zombie collection. And now I have 3 Rob Zombie films on Steelbook. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I want to finish off the rest of his movies on Steelbook, other than the Munsters, because the Munsters I don't think has a Steelbook. Picked up 310 to Yuma. This was a really cool find. I think I found this during like my 3rd trip. No, it was actually my 2nd trip. Uh, when I went there, kept looking. I noticed my $5 bin now is low, but very limited. There's like 2 copies of The Hitman's Wife Bodyguard. Spiral was in there. That submarine movie with Gerard Butler and Gary Oldman. And then The Walking Dead season 8. That's pretty much it. I want to say well, it looked like somebody bought the Tom Holland movie that was there, but I think I pretty much cleaned them out on what was pretty much left, just about. And then I picked up Belly, which was pretty cool, and then I picked up Dirty Dancing, which was a cool find. Very happy to find that one. Got dust everywhere. I need to clean some of this dust up. Excuse me, coffee wants to come back. All right. So there was a couple Blu-ray steelbooks as well. So I ended up picking up John Wick Chapter 2, which was really cool to find that one. Then I picked up, of course, the first film, John Wick. I still would like to get the third one. And then I found the complete second season of Ash versus the Evil Dead. This steelbook does have issues. It does not close like it should. See? I can't even close it. And it's weird because, like, if you look at the clips seem to be alright for the most part, I think. But they're just not tagging. Like, it sounds like it closed, but it doesn't. That's kind of the only, like... Yeah, I mean, look at this. I don't even have to, like, make an effort. So, that's unfortunate, but what can you do? I really need to stop hitting this computer desk so the camera's not shaking. Alright. Now let's get on to the Blu-rays. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with... Actually, I know what we're going to do. We're going to start off with the Shout Factory or Scream Factory releases, and then we will do the Vestron, or not Vestron, MVD. So, from what I had seen, there were a few Scream Factory titles that were reasonable priced, but I noticed like the stock number was very low, so I wanted to jump up on the opportunity. And number one tip I can give you guys when it comes to boutique labels, look on eBay, especially Declutter, and look at, some of the sales, see if Amazon drops the prices, because I feel like you can get a lot of these under at least the $20 mark or under. And I'm very happy because I waited for a lot of titles, and now that I started noticing price drops, I decided to start snagging them. So the first one I picked up is Serial Mom. This is pretty much an upgrade. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Then I picked up Mel Brooks' Dracula Dead and Loving It. Can't wait. No, actually, I rewatched this one. I can't wait to do a review for you guys. Hopefully, I'll have it soon. Next, I picked up Silent Night, Deadly Night. I needed this to... man, I can't. Why do I? Do you guys hate that? Like, I've noticed when I say certain things, it sounds like I have an accent, and then just the way I'm saying it is just weird. I don't know if any of you guys have done that, but it's annoying. I'm right now just fixing the artwork. I noticed it was off. Yeah, I have the Vestron release of the sequels, at least part 3 through 5. So I needed this one to start slowly completing the collection. And then I also went ahead and picked up Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I've seen these movies before, but it's been so long. And then I picked up Death Becomes Her, which is a really fun movie, great cast. This only had, I think, like 15 or 16 left in stock, so I definitely wanted to jump up on that opportunity. Then I picked up a pretty decent amount of MVD titles. I do want to pick up more, like I want to pick up Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Ghoulies 1 and 2, The Swamp Thing, or Return of the Swamp Thing, one of those Swamp Thing movies. So yeah, definitely a lot to pick up down the road. But I picked up Jack Frost, which I've heard some pretty fun things. Picked up Split Second, which looks like it's going to be a fun watch. It's got Kim Cattrall in it, which is pretty cool. So very happy to get that. Picked up Nemesis, and then I also ended up picking up Nemesis 2, 3, and 4. Picked up one of my favorite video game adaptations, Double Dragon. And the cool thing about these MVD Rewind collection is that they also include slipcover, or not, man, not slipcover. I cannot think. I need to go take a nap. Posters. They got some posters, so I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, Double Dragon. Very happy with that one. Picked up Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Should be a fun watch. Then I picked up Men at Work with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. And then last but not least, I picked up The Last American Virgin. Very happy to pick this one up. This is one of those movies that has multiple Blu-rays from different companies, an Olive film release, a Arrow video release, and then of course a MVD release. And I decided to go with this one. Great movie, but shitty ending. I'm sure many of you can agree on that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've picked up. I will have an unboxing once that other title comes in. So yeah, wish I could say more. If you guys want to check out my eBay store, I will put the link down in the description below. I'm trying to hopefully finish the upgrade challenge. Then I want to start doing a Holy Grail challenge, and then also want to raise some funds to pay some bills. Not more pay the bills, but get ahead. Um, excuse me, because excuse me, I'm actually getting close of my unemployment running out, and I'm still waiting for Social Security disability to see what their decision is with my appeal, which I'm crossing my fingers is good. But we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this collection update. Again, I will put the link. Well, no, actually, I can't put the link to my eBay store. Well, maybe I can. I actually canceled my store subscription, so I will either be able to still put the link down, and if I can, then I will. If not, then I'll have to put the link to a listing, and then you guys can just go from there. But yeah, thank you guys. Don't forget to give this video a like. I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, we'll talk films. I really need to probably take a nap because I can't think straight. Till then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Peace.